Hey everyone, today I'm joined by Ori Spado, also known as the Accidental Gangster. Ori was a Mafia associate. He was very close with Sonny Franzese, the underboss of the Colombo crime family at one time. Ori was also very close with Jimmy Caci, a Capo in the LA crime family as well. Ori talks about Sonny and Jimmy wanting to make him a made man in their crime family, but he turned both of them down. In this interview, you'll find out why. Ori also had a lot of encounters with other Mafia bosses such as Frank Costello, Russle Buffalino, Marcello and Angelo Burno. Ori also talks about Sonny Franzese's sons, Micheal Franzese and John Franzese. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to get more interviews like this, and without further ado, let's get into Ori's story. Here we go.
Hey, Adrian Martinez.
How's it going, man?
Huh?
How's it
How
going?
you doing, my friend? How's everything in Nebraska?
No, tremendous, man. Just actually getting some nice weather, it's somewhat nice for, I guess, Nebraska. But it's still windier than hell, What about you in old Hollywood?
The sun is shining, so I don't care what the temperature is. The sun. I just walked out to the post office, mail some books. My short sleeve shirt. I love it.
Hell yeah, man. I got my book right here.
Beautiful.
I loved it, man. It was really good. I honestly haven't read a book in a long time, and this really drew me back into reading books. Like, it was an incredible story, and we're going to go through it all, and I'll put the link in the description, where people can get theirs.
Yeah.
And, it's just a really good life story that you've went through. You've had a very interesting life, so if you want, we can start in the beginning, how it was growing up for you. I know you lived in New York, right?
I lived in upstate New York.
Right.
I was born in a town called Rome, New York, which is like right in the middle of New York State. And I had a good childhood. I had a mom and dad, two brothers, three sisters. We lived in a duplex home. My grandparents on my mother's side and her brothers and sisters lived there. And we cut a hole in the shed so they can just come through the shed. And yeah, it was the shed. The shed. Yeah, the shed, yeah. And they'd come over every night. We'd have dinner. I sit next to my father. My grandfather was across from him. Always a bottle of homemade wine. My aunts and uncles, brothers, sisters, all there. Had to be there for dinner.
Every night.
And I had a good childhood. They could read more about my childhood in my book. But at 18, I joined the Army.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one thing I was thinking about the other day. I became an extremely good salesman. And I've been hustling since I was 10, 11 years old. And the reason for that?
Why is that?
Because I was a paper boy.
That's where it all began.
That's where it began. Because I won the contest. To go see a movie in the theater. By getting more new customers, I had to knock on doors. So, I had a lot of rejection. So I was getting that at 10, 11 years old.
See.
Then in the wintertime, to make extra money, I would shovel sidewalks. And in the summer, I would mow people's lawns.
Yeah. See, that's where it started.
So, I'm wondering, I don't think there's any paper boys today, is there?
I haven't seen one in a long time, man. Even since I was young. See, I'm 22, but I remember it probably when I was younger than 10 years old. I used to see that a lot, but I still see that shit on people's driveways, newspapers. So someone's out there doing it, you know what I mean?
Somebody's out there doing it, because I think that's, it's a shame what's going on with the newspapers, and people are not reading like they used to.
Right. It's all audio and shit now.
Well, people feel they could listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that people who listen to podcasts, if they buy anything, they'll buy the audio book. If they buy anything, but they don't read.
Yeah.
I become big in an app called Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. I'm very well known in there. And my biggest purchasers of my book are women.
Really?
Women, mothers, who give it to the kids. So I've done very well and very very happy with all the good that I've been able to do to help a lot of the youth in this country and in other countries.
Yeah.
I helped a young man in Ireland. I helped another young man in India.
Damn.
I mean, I spoke to these people. You know, the boy in India wanted to commit suicide.
Damn. And he read your book and was like, damn.
No, he didn't read my book.
He just reached out.
I spoke to him on the phone.
Damn.
I talked to him and I talked to him and I talked to him.
So you've been impacting a lot of different people, man.
Yeah. So
that's great. You know, a lot of people need that stuff.
People need it. You know, people are not paying attention to each other today. It's a sad shape of the world that we live in. This was what people were doing. Texting, emailing. I go out to restaurants here. I'll see a guy out on a date with a girl. And I'm sure you see the same thing in Nebraska. And they're both looking at their phones.
Not even talking.
Not even talking to each other.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've pointed that out a few times before too.
So why you out? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
For what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Get to know people. Communications. I'm a firm believer. You know, online or if I'm in, you know, people write me, want to do business with me. If I don't meet people face to face, I'm not doing business with them.
Right. Yeah, because you want to get an actual feel for them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. You know, people call me and how they got robbed and you know, on social media of their money. You never met the person. You don't have no idea where the person is.
Yeah. So
they got burner phones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean?
Well, nothing you could do.
So, you know, like when you were growing up, I guess, you know, you kind of, you joined the military, right? Or the army or the Navy, right?
18 years old, yeah.
And your mother was pretty shocked about it, right?
My mother was very upset.
Because you had dropped out of school?
Yeah. I dropped out of school and I was leaving. And I remember, you know, my father had to give her $40. It was clutched in her hand like this. We had a recliner and a parlor chair near the window. The recruiter was out front waiting for me.
Damn.
She did not hug or kiss me.
Really?
I literally had to take the 40 out. And while I was through basic training, when I would go home, my mother would not talk to me.
Really?
It hurt me a lot.
Yeah.
But then when I came home on leave, she did. We kissed. And she made me a lot of gnocchis. It's my favorite dish in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it turned out well.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, and you had a lot of good experiences there, and you've also had, you know, different run-ins, you know, when you went in there, you know, I mean, when you first went there, you know, there was the hotel situation. This guy, what was his name?
Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar. He brought in he's asked you whatever you want, and you wanted some girls, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking, what's that guy mean? Then I figured it out. You know, and Oklahoma is a dry state. I couldn't go out and get a drink no place. You know, I thought I was going, hey, I'm going to be there and, you know, I'm going to go out. I'll pick up a girl. Yeah. Can't even go in anywhere.
Damn.
But anyways, it was all good. I learned a lot. And I learned from my life experiences. And I learned to try to extract the positive things that I do learn.
Yeah. And you were able to, you know, get you know, business things out of it, you know, and like you said, from being a newspaper kid, you know, you went and did all these other entrepreneur things. I mean, you know, when you were in the army, I guess, you know, you did you wanted to start even opening your own brothel, right? And then,
well, I was moving in on somebody else's, you know.
What was that situation?
Well, a kid named Harry came to me and my friend Joe. He had a friend, they had a brothel in Iowa, which is right outside Schofield Barracks. And he's saying if we bring guys there, you know, we'll get a discount, this and that. I came up with a better idea. I wanted part of the action. Well, I ended up getting a meeting with the guy that ran the house in Iowa. I picked him up. I borrowed somebody's car. I picked him up on a Saturday. Drove out to cornfields. Yeah, cornfields, not cornfields. You got the cornfields, sugarcane fields. That's where he put a gun in my mouth, in my head. I told him, you better pull the trigger. I talked my way out of that. But he was not the boss. The big boss was down in Caci in Valhalla. And they owned several homes. These people were big. So now, over the phone, he introduced me to those guys. Now, they want to meet me. So when I got back to the barracks, I told Joe and Harry what happened to me. The guy put a gun, They both back right away. Now I'm left by myself. I got no backup. And here I am. I'm supposed to go to Waikiki. I don't know if I'm going to go in the house and ever come out.
Fuck.
So I got no backup. So, and these guys were calling me every night. And when I say call me, we didn't have cell phones. They would call to charge of quarters, CQ. And I'd be near the office. If I get any phone calls, I'm not here. And finally one night I said, people want to call again. Tell them I got transferred out to Vietnam. That's how I ended that.
And that was the end of that, right? They just
That
like,
was
oh,
the
he's
end of
gone.
that.
Damn. So then you ended up, after that, you kind of traveled around a little bit, and then you went back to Rome.
Well, when I got out of the Army, I was engaged to marry a girl here in Beverly Hills that I met in Waikiki. She was Jewish. Her father was against the marriage. Very, very wealthy family. One of those families where they had her husband already picked out. They had the guy that she wanted to marry, and it wasn't Ori Spado. When I got out of the Army, I had one suit, a Botany 500. I stayed at the Hilton right down the street over here. And she came over, she wanted to run away and marry me. And I told her, I said, I'd love to marry you. I had a job lined up with Pan American Airlines too.
Really?
And I said, but I can't provide for you in the way that you're accustomed to living. I'm just beginning my life. I can't provide that. And your father is going to disown you. You're never going to be able to live with that. I said, forget about me, go back home. And that's how I ended up. And I ended up getting on a plane. My dad was ill. I went back to Rome, New York. A couple of different jobs. Then I got into the insurance business, which I happen to love. And I was very successful in it. Did extremely well. And building my own businesses. And that's what I did. I become a millionaire, built multi-million-dollar companies. And then through a situation, somebody found out about a deal that I had with the insurance company, tried to take over my agency. And I ended up getting indicted and losing my insurance license. But by that time, I've been meeting a lot of people in La Cosa Nostra throughout the country. And that's how I become involved.
Yeah, so that was when you...
Because I'm a hustler. I'm going to make $1. I'm going to make $1 today somehow. Okay? I just do it.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of how you first got, kind of affiliated with, the whole gangster title, the mob, and stuff. So I mean, kind of expand on it, I mean, what was your first interaction or first encounter, when it happened?
Well, look at first. I mean, the first person I ever met was Frank Costello. Then I met Russle Buffalino. We had lunch. Then when I was trying to sell my insurance agency before everything fell apart, Angelo Burno out of Philadelphia got me an introduction to Marcello New Orleans. And if he was not being investigated for another insurance business he was in, he would have been able to buy my business.
Damn.
And I would have been able to bail right out, but unfortunately he could not. And then eventually, and as I say in the book, how I met Walter Fiveson, I became a distributor for the company Polyglycol. Walter had threats against him and then asked me to reach out to see where the threats were coming from. And it's all in my book, The Accidental Gangster, of how I ended up meeting Sonny Franzese.
Yeah.
Underboss of the Colombo crime family. And he just passed away at the age of 103 years old. And we remained friends until his death at the age of 103.
Yeah, he lived very long, not a lot of people make it to that age, what I mean? So he really hung in there,
And he definitely did.
So he was a good buddy of yours, I mean, throughout the book, obviously, I mean, so what could you explain to the people, your relationship with him?
Well, my relationship was, we were extremely close. We've had many private conversations on various subjects. I learned a lot from Sonny. And, there's only so much that I could say.
Yeah.
And so much that I will say. I could say this much. He was a very intelligent man. He was not stupid. As most of these guys who get elevated to the high positions, they are not stupid guys.
Yeah.
We were just talking to a friend earlier out of Tampa, Florida. And I think, Micheal Franzese. Everybody knows who Micheal is.
Mm-hmm.
Very intelligent guy. Very intelligent. Could have been anything. We all could have become something else in our lifetime than what we became. But, it's like I say, my life was my destiny. I take full responsibility for everything I've done in my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not going to bash nobody and say if that bastard did this, or if that guy didn't inform on me, this wouldn't happen. I'm not going to go there.
Right.
You don't see me out there on those mob YouTube things bashing other people. I don't do that.
Right. You just want to promote the good.
I want to promote the good and try to help leave this world a little bit better place than it is today.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we can do.
If I could do that and try to get others, if we all, like I say in my book, in the epilogue of my book, I say that if we all reach out and we all hold hands together, we can make this world a better place.
Yeah. And
I just left the post office. And when it was my turn, I walked up to the girl. I go, "Hello, Patricia. How you doing today? How's the family?" I know her name. I go in the grocery store. "Hi, Anna. How you doing? How's the kids doing?" I know her name. Do you know how much you brighten somebody's day by doing just a little thing like that?
right.
Any idea? Because these people are behind that register all day long. And nobody ever acknowledges even their name.
Right.
So, when you are able and you know somebody's name and you could say it, you brighten their day. It could be something as simple as that. I take my walk. I walk past people. I go, "Good morning. How are you?" And some of them are shocked that somebody even spoke to them. But most of them say, "Hey, good morning. How are you?" Simple things. Communicate with people. Talk to people. Learn to love people. Share your love and compassion with others.
Yeah, because you never know what that person's going through and how much mere hello might brighten their day. Or, I mean, it's just something like that. How it can really impact their life. You coming in and saying hi. You know what I mean?
one thing people don't realize about people like me and the people that were my friends, we have heart.
Yeah.
We got heart. Yeah, we're going to do some bad things at certain periods of our times of our life. But we got heart. We love people. We help people.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you have a son, you have your family, I mean, you're also a father, I mean, so people, sometimes can forget that, given your
Right.
history, I mean, they're like, but that's you're someone's father, I mean, someone's grandfather or whatnot, but people, other people, may dislike you, for stuff you've done in the past, but that's, I mean, it's just you're still a person, you still have, these feelings and all this, you're different now. You have that mindset change.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, where were we kind of at? I mean, so I mean, yeah, you said you ran into Sonny and all that, and what was, kind of, your first business dealings with him, I guess what was that you could speak on?
No, I had a lot of business dealing with individuals out here in Hollywood and certain things that I would hand out. I was referred to back east as our boy in Hollywood. A lot of situations I would have to handle. I collected an awful lot of money all around the world. You know, money is old, it's got to be paid.
Yeah.
And I collected millions of dollars in my lifetime. Done a lot of things.
So when you were collecting the money and stuff, what was kind of your process, to convince these people, because they were big people, I mean, big names and stuff, and they didn't want to pay their money that they owed, to.
You know something? I owe a lot to my voice and the way I look. And people know instantly that I'm somebody not to screw around with. It just comes across. I never used a gun. Never needed a gun to collect money.
Damn.
You know, if you need a gun, you're doing it wrong. Okay. And if it took me longer than 15 minutes, then I was a failure.
So you were very quick.
I get my point across real quick. Even if it's just a situation in a movie set, a little crisis between the main actor and the director, which happens a lot of times. I handle those quickly because I can handle them and I got away with words.
Mm-hmm.
All right. To limit my words, but get the message across very clearly, nicely, have everybody shake hands and make everybody a winner.
Right.
Everybody comes out a winner.
That's good. Was there situations where it didn't go that way?
Nothing I could think of.
Damn. So they were pretty cooperative.
Yeah. I mean, I had some situations there, where I didn't collect the money. Okay. Only one I could think of, actually. Right out here in California. A friend of mine from New York came out. We had a collection. The guy owned the auto body place. He said, I'm going to show you how we do in New York. I said, okay. Where's this place? I said, well, you're going to show me. Why don't you drive there? So I give him directions. We get there. He goes up to the door. It's an apartment building. Now he comes up. He couldn't get in the building. So now I had to go show him how to get in the building. And then we got to the guy's apartment. The guy opened his door, and there it is. There's his TV. He's got a nice Rolex watch on, this and that. And I just leaned against the door and listened to my friend Dominic. And the guy was very, very cordial, as I expected him to be. Very cordial. So I'll have your money tomorrow. Come to my shop. Me, if I was doing the talking, I would have said, let me see your watch. would have taken the watch. I would have taken something of him of value. The first thing, before I say anything about the money, I take that watch, I put it in my pocket. I've done it many times. No, we leave there. My friend, see how easy that is? I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, there's auto body shops right over here. And tomorrow you go by yourself to them. I'm not going to go, and I'm going to tell you why. I said, because the FBI will be there. He said, what? I said, this is California. It's a lot different than New York. People, kids, when they're born here, they're taught how to dial 911. I said, that's what happens. I said, I'm going to prove it to you. The next day, drove around, and of course, I saw the FBI cars all around the place.
Damn. So they were waiting.
They were waiting. Yeah.
What was that one situation where you did get set up by the FBI? Like you went into this room and it was like a vacant office and like
that was in Florida. That was in Florida.
What happened with that?
You know, it's really a funny thing because I recognize, you know, he brings me to this real estate office, you know, tells me I could use the phones, have them ring here from Dade County. They would ring in Broward, but I'd be operating out of Dade County. And bring me to this office, real estate office, and every desk is even. The phone is in the same place, a pad of paper and a pen on the same place, every desk, and nothing written down on a pad of paper. Not a note. I mean, how is everything like the military? And the phones are not ringing. Phones are not ringing at all. And I looked at him and said, you know, I decided I'm not going to go in that business. Thank you. Left. I came to California. It was not until a few years later when I had a seafood business. I had international seafood distributors. And I was on probation at the time for my first case. And I get a call from the Secret Service telling me they want to see me and I better get my ass down there. I call my probation officer and he says, you gotta go. I went downtown to the federal building, the Secret Service room. They bring me in a little ass room. And two guys and me on the other side of the table. They're questioning me. They're going through all my whole record. And they come out with prostitution charges in Florida. I said, there were no prostitution charges ever. But what did right then and there, I knew, okay, that I was correct. That in Florida, I was being set up by them.
Damn. But you walked out so they couldn't do nothing.
Right. So the Secret Service, they wanted me because I knew a kid that was stealing bank information and so forth. I didn't know him that well. And then when they found out I was in the seafood industry, told me his father was there and wanted, I said, I'll send you some shrimp. And I did. I remember they had to put it in the bomb thing, you know, at the federal building when it got, I sent my driver there with it.
So you ended up buying some shrimp.
Yeah. No, I gave him shrimp.
So, I mean, that was before, you know, like you were known, you know, becoming the known gangster is what you call it. This was after that, right? Or was it before?
I'm surprised of how well known that I did become.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never really hung out with a lot of wise guys out here in California, except for Jimmy Caci, who was the underboss out here.
Damn.
So here I am. I'm in California with Jimmy Caci, who's the underboss. And in New York, I'm with Sonny Franzese, the underboss. And they used to fucking swear at me all the time. You're with me, fuck him. Go back and forth. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. Jimmy Caci, ounce for ounce, was the Sonny Franzese of the West Coast, originally from Buffalo, New York. And Jimmy and I made a lot of money together. A lot of deals would come to Jimmy. I was able to convert them into money deals. And so, I mean, I was bouncing between California and New York, all right, with 2 different families. And, you know, I never really considered myself with any crew. I had my own crew.
Right.
You know, I mean, I only answered to Jimmy Caci out here and nobody else. And back in New York, I only answered to Sonny Franzese, nobody else. Never had a captain, you know, like most guys would have to be a part of a crew.
Right. You were able to do with both, but not fully in it. Did they both? I know you got offered to be made twice. Now, did they both do it, or what was the situation on that?
Well, Sonny wanted to propose me in New York, and Jimmy wanted me made out here. We came that close.
What happened? How,
that freaking close.
What prevented that?
Thank God that Jimmy got a phone call and had to run a couple blocks over to handle something. And by the time he got back, I'm laying on my couch and all the guys from Las Vegas were here.
Really?
We were supposed to go to Pete Milano's house out in the valley. That's where I was going to be made.
So then what, you know, he just had to
I
say,
said, Jimmy, I don't want to do this.
oh, okay,
I
so you
like
changed.
who I am and what I am.
Yeah.
I said, you're my friend. That's how it's going to stay. I said, take the other guys, do what you got to do. I don't want that button. Yeah. I'd like to be unknown. And that's how I try to keep it.
Yeah.
I know, but, you know, but because of my presence and the way I conducted myself and the way I was out, I was a real East Coast guy out here.
Yeah.
And, you know, so everybody actually thought I was the boss. And when Jimmy's brother passed away, the boss out here sent 2 guys. They had a message for Jimmy. Jimmy's got to talk to Ori because everybody thinks I'm the Hollywood mob boss. That's how that originated.
Oh, okay.
Not because of me.
Yeah.
I never said I was a Hollywood mob boss.
They gave you that title.
I never said I was the boss of nothing. You know, but people assume things, and that's how it began.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I mean, Pete Milano was afraid of Jimmy. Jimmy was one of the very few serious guys out here in California. When I say serious, Jimmy was known to do work.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, so go figure.
Yeah, there it is. Go figure. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, what was it like, you know, turning down Sonny, you know, because I mean, you turned down Jimmy, but, you know, what was, you know, was he like kind of, you know, offended by it, or when you told him no, that you didn't want to be made?
Yeah, same thing. I said, I just want to be unknown.
Right.
He said, the moment I get made, I'm putting another target on my back. Why?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it was years ago where it was unknown. Okay, nobody knew nothing. Nobody knew if you were made or not made. Today, the FBI know if you get your button, they know it before you do.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you explained that very well. You know, so I mean, you avoided it. You stayed to yourself, you know, because you didn't want to drop everything that you had going on to go and deal with, say they had an issue. You know what I mean?
But look, it's like I told you, I'm a hustler.
Yeah.
Business. Just come to me all day long. I answer my phone. Unknown callers, I don't give a shit. I answer every phone call because I never know which one there could be money.
Right. You never want to turn an opportunity down that's going to bring you some money.
Yeah, somebody called me, I don't want to talk, I just say goodbye, okay? But you never know, somebody's gonna call me,
Yeah.
and that could be money on that deal.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you. I mean, everybody wants money, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, so I've been a hustler all my life.
Yeah.
Since I began delivering newspapers. And at
Yeah.
77, I haven't changed.
Yeah, I
My
mean,
thinking has changed, and how I do things has changed.
yeah, and you did another business too with yellow books or yellow pages.
I did the Asian Yellow Pages of San Francisco. I did the Better Business Bureau Yellow Pages here in Los Angeles. So, anything to do with sales, I was a pioneer in the automobile after sales market.
Hmm.
Actually, I just spoke at the National Auto Dealer Association in Las Vegas a
Really?
few weeks ago.
How'd that go?
Went very, very well.
What'd they have you talking about?
Huh?
What'd they have you speak on?
Well, what I was going to speak about, by the time I got up and spoke, and I heard the problems that the dealers were going through, I had to pivot 360 degrees.
Yeah.
They loved it.
Damn.
They loved it.
Yeah, well, who else better to get it than Ori Spado, you know what I mean? The businessman.
So, if anybody's listening, they're looking for a speaker, check me out.
Yeah.
I'm available.
You so like that the whole yellow page deal was kind of crazy, they called you after you were unemployed for a few weeks, right? Or 3 months, wasn't it?
Well, no, here's what happened. All right, going back to the beginning. When I first moved, I moved to San Jose, California. Not San Jose, San Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
With my wife, who became my second wife. And she went to work every day. I'm sitting there with nothing to do. And so I started answering sales ads. Let me go out and sell something. And I answered the ad, never got a response. And then, I answered it in November. And maybe February, March, I get a phone call. I answered the ad. David 7, Asian Yellow Pages. So I made an appointment. Let me go down. It was at 680 Beach Street. And I walk in the office. There's no receptionist. I hear two voices coming from the room to my right here. And then there's a room that goes to the back room. I go and I see the desk all set up with phones on, nobody working. And I knock on the door, I hear the voices. George is there, tells me about the Asian Yellow Pages. How good it is, this and that. Told me how it was created. I said, great. I'll think about it. I left. When I got home, I get a call from David 7. He said, we really like you and we'd like to make you the sales manager. I said, really? I says, you don't have no sales staff for me to manage. I said, no, thank you. And then the next morning, I get another call from David 7. There was a restaurant downstairs at 680. George wanted to meet me. So I went, I meet with him. And now he's offering me half the business for $15,000. I sat back in my chair, a little chuckle. I said, any minute David's going to be coming walking in that door. I says, now what you're telling me, George, your phones are shut off. You haven't been paying the rent. All right. When you guys began this last November, you sold sales. You took about 25 grand. You and Dave went to South America and blew all the money. Now you could be in a lot of legal problems for taking people's money and not finishing. And of course, David walked in, I had them both. I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I said, I'm very generous today. I'm going to offer you a deal. I'll give you guys $5,000. You both walk the freak out of that office and never come back. And they accepted it.
Damn.
And I got the money from the biggest pimp in San Francisco.
Damn.
All
See,
right.
that's crazy how that opportunity just kind of presented themselves and you
So
took
boom.
advantage of
So
it.
now, it was not my money. I never used my money. And bought the business, and within weeks, I hired a sales staff. I hired telephone people to make appointments. I had it buzzing. And I was making, and I did it for 10% of the gross. I was doing $25,000 a week. So after 2 weeks, Frank Grace comes in and says, "Oh, you're making too money. We're going to take it over." I said, "No problem. Buy me out." He said, "Well," and they had a check ready for $5,000. I gave him the check back. I said, "No." I said, $10,000. So I got $10,000.
Damn.
I pick up my little box. I call a taxi. I go home. I had to go back to New York the next day anyway, because I had a case in Syracuse, a federal case in Syracuse. And the moment I left and everybody found out, the salespeople, the telemarketer, they found out I was gone, they all left. So now Frank's sitting there, they got nothing. When I get back, they wanted me back in. Long story, you read about it in my book, everybody. But you could learn from my stories, you could learn from my successes, and you could learn from my failures. And when I say learn from failures, everybody should know that you learn from your failures.
Right.
If you're not learning from your failures, then you're never going to learn.
No. I agree,
You
man.
accept it and go on. But anyhow, I ended up back there, and then I ended up owning the company, and then again, my life was threatened once again. He brought a hitman over from London, and I had to bring my guy Emilio from Los Angeles up. The hitman decided that he was wrong by coming here and went back to London.
So why was he putting a hit on you? I can't recall. I know it was in the book.
Because I was too powerful. They couldn't run that business without me, no matter what they did.
And he put a hit on
I mean,
you.
I would have him going out getting prices to print the book from printers in San Francisco.
Mhm.
And I knew your average printer was going to charge a lot of money because they're not big enough and they don't do the volume. I knew that. I already knew that I was going to have the Los Angeles Times print my yellow pages. At that time, the Los Angeles newspaper also was the biggest publisher of yellow page phone directories.
Wow.
So while he's getting prices of $3.50 a book, I had a price of 64 cents a book.
Jeez. So yeah, there's a major difference.
Yeah.
So after, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So that's, what, I'm very, I hate to brag, but I am an intelligent guy. I'm quick. I'm very multitask.
Yeah.
I can do several things at one time, and I know exactly what I'm doing with each one of them.
Damn. Yeah,
And
that's
I
not
know exactly what I tell each person.
you got to be if you're, a business person or an entrepreneur or a leader.
Well,
You know what I mean? You got all these people you got to lead. So you
Yeah,
do this, you do
remember
that.
what you say. As long as you're telling the truth, you
Right.
never have to think about what you said.
Yeah,
As
That's
long
true.
as you're telling the truth.
that's smart.
If you're lying, you're not transparent with people. Now you got to think, hey, what did I say to this guy? And that's how I get so many guys in a trap like that.
Yeah. So that's how you know if they're bullshitting or not.
Right.
So a little after that, you got indicted then, right, for that $385,000 deal.
Yeah, that was in Syracuse, New York. Yeah.
And so,
Got indicted. I ended up getting 5 years probation, losing my insurance license.
damn.
That's
So,
how I ended up, with
okay. Well, after that, so you went, there was a situation, I guess, that you had a mobile casino business you wanted to start.
San Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah, and they backed off, right? There was these other mob guys that were mad at you with this situation because you were trying to take.
Well, you know, I was making a lot of moves in San Francisco.
Mhm.
You know, San Francisco is not a big city. It's 7 miles by 7 miles. Within a month, everybody knew me, everybody.
Yeah.
Um, everybody. And I had a place on Union Street called Little Henry. I used to hang out there. I had a crew of guys. And I remember going in one Saturday evening, and the guys were all nervous because they said the Italians down in North Beach wanted to meet with me right away. I said, okay, where are they? Gave me a restaurant. I went over. As soon as I gave my name, boom, they brought me right to the kitchen. There were 4 Italian guys at a table, older guys. They began telling me they knew when I got to San Francisco, they knew I've been doing things, leaving me alone, but now the gambling, this and that, you know, and I got to start paying up. And who am I with? Who am I with? And I knew I was in trouble, so I had to give them a name because I very seldom would mention Sonny Franzese's name. But I knew I was in trouble there. And so I said, I'm with Sonny Franzese. And it was like the sky opened up. They said, you could do anything here you want.
Damn.
Sonny was loved all over the country. He was loved. Sonny was a serious guy. He did work all over. Yeah, so I had no problems.
And they backed off after that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
they
I
backed
mean,
right up. They said, anything you want, San Francisco, it's yours. Let us know.
just an entire,
Yeah.
just a whole different switch, man. After you just said that, I mean, they're like, whatever, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, after that, you know, you didn't even want to do it though. I guess you kind of were with the whole casino.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. It was too tough. And like I said, San Francisco is too small to be doing that.
Yeah.
Only places could I actually had that truck
Yeah.
during the course of a week
Yeah.
without getting caught.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. So I mean, after that, I mean, because you've always done a lot of back and forth from California to New York. After
Yeah.
that, you know, you moved back to New York, and then I think you had asked Sonny for like a loan for like $25,000, you know, to kind of run a scheme.
In Los Angeles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you remember?
With that one, you ended up not doing it.
Hmm?
He told you not to do it, or no, he didn't tell you not to do it, but he just like kind of had you think about it, you know, and you're like, I don't think I will.
Yeah, and it was the wrong thing to do. Well, I needed 25 grand.
Yeah.
But there was a time that I needed 25 grand
Mm-hmm.
for me. I don't know if I put in my book.
Maybe.
He said, I'm going to introduce you to that bookie over there. He says, borrow 50 grand. Give me 25. And then when he comes to you for the money, tell him you gave it to me. And that's what I did.
And then you both got 25,000 out of it, huh?
We got 25. And the guy called me for the money. Oh, I gave it to Sonny. He didn't give it to you. Hey, Sonny, he got it.
Yeah, and he wasn't.
I'm going to ask Sonny for the money.
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
Yeah, and you know, if you really read my book, you read about the businesses that I had, the business that I created in my head, or how I took over businesses very creatively.
Right.
And this is what the people should read and learn.
Mm-hmm.
If I did it, you can do it.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
It takes the proper mindset. You got to have a burning desire to succeed. Anybody can do it if they want it bad enough. You got to be able to eat it, taste it, drink it, dream it, and do it, and it'll happen. I don't care what year it is.
Yeah.
It's still being done. People are becoming millionaires and billionaires every day in this country. So for the young men out there, and this is who I target my talks to, okay? If you're involved in a life of crime, you're going to end up dead or in jail. Those are your only two options. There are none other, except to stop, become, study, find something that you love doing. And I stress, find something that you love doing and turn it into a business and become an entrepreneur. If that's what you want. But today, in a life of crime, okay, everybody has a cell phone. A lot of your cities today have cameras all over the place. And you're not going to get away with it. How quick do you see a crime on the news? And how quick do you see the guy's picture who committed that crime? It's like instantly.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't take too long at all.
Right. So, life of crime is not worth it, folks. You can make more money legitimately, never have to look behind your shoulder, and live a great life. Because our life on this earth is for a very short period of time. It's it's like a needle in a haystack. It's so fast. So your most valuable asset you have is time. Don't waste your time. Do good things with it. Make other people happy. Make yourself happy. With that there, I'm going to say goodbye, my friend.
All right, man. That was some good words, man. That's some real shit, man. I really appreciate you coming on and giving me your time, man. It was a great book. I'll put the description. Everybody can, buy purchase a book, and check it out, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody that purchase, tell them to put Adrian in the remarks section. If you purchase my book at my website, I'll give you a free audio book.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
So you get an autograph book and you get a free audio book.
Yeah.
All right.
Man. That's cool. Yeah, no, that's really cool. Yeah.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah.
I got to run, buddy.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care. Have a great day. I love you, kid.
You too, man.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Well, what everyone think? Ori has an incredible story. He was really close with two major mafia figures, Sonny Franzese and Jimmy Caci. Ori could have been a made man in two different crime families, but he turned it down. Please comment any key takeaways that you got from this interview. Please share it with anyone that you think will enjoy it. Also, please don't forget to hit subscribe to my channel if you want more interviews like this. If you want to purchase Ori's book and learn more about him and his life story, I'll put his link in the video description below. I highly recommend this book. It was one of the first Mafia books that I ever read. If you want to support me and my clothing brand, I got t-shirts, hoodies, beanies, and sweats, all on my clothing brand website. I'll put my website link in the video description below. At the end of this video, I'll put a playlist of all my other Mafia interviews. I've interviewed guys that were associates of the Mafia, made men, capos, and on the other side, law enforcement that went undercover and took the Mafia down. I've also interviewed a lot of Mafia historians that have written books about the Mafia. The last thing that I'll bring up is my Mafia documentary series that I got coming out. This series includes 11 episodes. Each episode is about a different crime family. I got lots of people that were involved with the Mafia, made men, associates, capos, law enforcement, and mob historians. Please check out this trailer to get a better understanding on my documentary series. Also, thank you so much again for watching. This life is very twisted. You never know when it's your time to go. One day you're putting in work with someone, and the next day they're taking you out.
In our days, it was very quiet, nobody ever talked about this, nobody glamorized it. It was all like hush hush.
Not a glamorous life. And again, it's not what you see in Goodfellas. It's not what you see in Casino. Some days you were dead broke. Some days you had $2,000 in your pocket. It wasn't every day. You don't know anything else. You don't know what it is to go wake up 6 o'clock and go to work. Work? What the fuck is that? I wasn't going to work.
Even bosses get murdered in this life.
There was younger guys underneath him, and he wasn't doing the right thing, I guess. He was coming out of the card game, and unfortunately, a lone gunman came up and shot him 5 times.
People who knew me would tell you I like to use the bat a lot. If I had to shoot you, I'd shoot you too. I've done that.
This life requires many mixed personalities. You have to wear many hats in this life to try and survive.
You become 4 or 5 different people all at once. And you got to go home and be a dad and a husband. You got to go to work and do your job. You got to be out in the street and be a gangster.
Bonanno family is called Bonanno family because of my grandfather, Joe Bonanno.
That life there is done. Today you have to be legitimate today.
But you got to be an idiot to want to be a hooligan today. Jail time's now like 100 years for doing nothing.
You'll be dead, in prison for life, or in the witness protection program.
I don't know anybody. Now, when Mafia turned their back on me, I know everybody.
There was the big flip of the Gambino underboss, Sammy the Bull Gravano.
Here he is, signing autographs in a restaurant on Mulberry Street. And what's supposed to be a secret organization.
He was a very, very, very violent guy. No question about it.
Albert Anastasia, he was a Brooklyn guy. He was probably the biggest killer in the history of the mob.
Michael Franzese, his father, Sonny, was a really tough guy. But he really raised his son right.
If you want to see a gangster, that's Sonny Franzese. And John Sr. don't compliment anybody.
This is a documentary series about the American Mafia. It includes 11 different crime families. Each episode is about a different one. The crime families include the Gambino, Genovese, Bonanno, Colombo, Lucchese, the Gallo Crew, Chicago Outfit, the Philadelphia Mafia, the Patriarca, the Trafficante crime family, and the Jewish Mafia. Please subscribe to my channel to watch each episode as they come out.